All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Wahar Kakwadash. Double honors to your apostles, the elder bishops, the elders of the great millstone, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect out there toiling in this truth. I'm Bathaka Moth, GMS Dallas. I'm just coming back at you with a really quick hit lesson. As you can see on the screen, this is a screenshot from the Brothers of Saints of Jersey 2. They put this up. There's a video that they did earlier, and I watched a little bit of it, and I wanted to kind of, through the spirit, do my own lamb back lesson on this, man. You know what I'm saying? And as you can see on the in the heading right here, it says red alert. E says hostile alien ship arrives in our solar system. So off the top, you know, you can see when you look into the picture right there, like a very colorful, cigar type shaped or string looking vehicle right there. You know, they're saying it's a hostile alien ship though, you know, which Esau, man, you gotta, hey bro, this dude, which he knows though, you know, that just showed that he knows what's coming, you know. So he's setting the stage for what he knows is coming. They knew all the way back during the time of Reagan. You know, that's why Reagan with the whole Star Wars program. Now they have the space cadets or space force or whatever it is they have now during the time of Trump. But they knew all the way back then. That's why he made that statement in that when he did that speech, I guess. Is for lack of better wording, when he did the speech, and he made the statement of would we not all come together in one common cause if there was an outside threat, that whole, back in the 80s, man, you know what I'm saying, that whole thing of preparing the minds of the people, you know what I'm saying, that aliens are going to attack, there's going to be an alien invasion. Which at the end of the day, alien only means a foreigner, a traveler, stranger. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that's not from here. And the angels are not from here, man. They're not from America. They're not even from this world. So yeah, they would be aliens, but it's not aliens to this devil has tried to portray them as. You know what I'm saying? Like when you watch a movie like Signs by Mel Gibson. You know, you're going to see these big these gray monsters or beings with blacked out eyes, you know, that they think they can swing a bat and hit them. Stop, bro. You know, but, or these little Martian green, E.T., that's another one, E.T., so, Independence Day, it shows some beings, that's not what's in these vehicles, man. You know what I'm saying? None of that. Esau did that on purpose, man, to bug out these people, man. You know what I'm saying? Because they know what's coming. Daniel, the 12th chapter. You know what I'm saying? There's a day coming where Michael and the angels, Michael gonna stand up, man. You know what I'm saying? And he's gonna intervene when all hell is breaking loose in the earth, man. Of course, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is going to return, and he's coming with the heavenly host, man. You know what I'm saying? And, they're coming for these people, man. They're coming for this place and for these people, man, because right now, as the scriptures say in Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Esau is the wicked, and they're ruling the earth in pure wickedness, And, hey, bro, he had a period of time that he was going to be allowed to do such. That's why the scriptures say in 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, he who now letteth will let until it be taken out of the way, man. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, let's get that real quick. Let's get that. This is a screenshot, by the way, so I'll come back to let's get that real quick. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. Wow, went to Isaiah on me. Oh. Ephesians 6 in full effect. The 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. And See what a good point to start. I guess I'll start at verse 7. It says, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 7. It says, for the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. You know, in that mystery of iniquity, we now know are these Edomites, man. During this time, you know, which was the time of the Roman Empire, Edomites were ruling, man. They're the mystery of iniquity. You know what I'm saying? And they were already at work back then, you know, and that thing has played out all the way up into today, man, and they're still at work. But here's the point. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. So the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, is allowing these devils to do the things they're doing. You know, he's letting them until he be taken out of the way, because there's a point where the Lord is going to stop this dude, man. You know, he's going to take him out of the way, you know, and that's the point. But we'll just continue to read. It says, and then, verse 8, and then shall that wicked be revealed, which that wicked is specific, man. It's particular. You know, whenever it says that wicked or the wicked, it's being very particular. Of course, there's wicked among every nation. That's what these Christians and these unlearned people will try to, well, there's wicked among, yeah, but it says that wicked. Whenever it says that wicked or the wicked, it's being specific. You know, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. You know what I'm saying? Who's ruling the world? Who's running the earth right now? You know what I'm saying? It's not hard to see. They're the ones, you know, coming up with these unrighteous decrees. You know, all of these different things that Trump is signing into law. You know, hey, bro, those unrighteous decrees, man. You know, those executive orders. Yeah, they're the ones running things. Their faces are on the currency, man. It's sure that's who's ruling, man. It's not hard to see, you know. And you got a lot of Jakes bugged out, man, and they can't see it, man. Trying to blame Japheth and Ishmael and everybody but the white person, man. No, man. Esau, Edom, the so-called self-proclaimed white man. You know, they're in power, man. They're the wicked. You know, Malachi, the first chapter, man. You know, they're the border of wickedness. Everywhere they go, wickedness is going to follow. They're going to set up and bring forth wickedness. So, but it says, and verse 8 again, and then shall that wicked be revealed. Of course, he's being revealed in these times. There's a revealing on the left and right hand. You know, on the left hand, Esau is being revealed. We know who the elephant is in the room is now, you know. And on the right hand, Yahushua is being revealed, you know. Revelations, the first chapter, the revealing of Yahushua Mashiach, man, because he was covered up, you know. You look up, you Google the Messiah, which they call him Jesus. It's not his name. His true biblical name is Yahushua. And you're going to see a white man with stringy hair, pale skin, you know. That's not the Messiah, man. The Bible describes the Messiah as a very dark man, you know, like something was burnt, you know, very dark with white woolly hair, man, an afro, you know. And the Father is the same, man, you know. Revelation, the 4th chapter, I believe it is. It goes into it. He looks like a sardine stone or a jasper stone, which is a brown in tone, man, you know. And Yahushua said, if you've seen me, you've seen the Father, you know. He has woolly hair as well when you read in Daniel, the 7th chapter, man, you know. So, you know, the Bible describes these people, you know. I am black, you know, my wisdom, a Song of Solomon. You know, but calmly, beautiful, man. Black but beautiful. Job, you know, my skin is black upon me. You know, all these things are in the scriptures. Jeremiah 14:2. You know, they're blackened to the ground, man. That's not talking about clothes, man. It's talking about their visage, man. Their face, their look. You know, when you look at them, you know, their skin tone. So going back, it says, verse 8, it says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, which is the prophets. That's happening as we speak, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, which is the thermonuclear destruction, man. And when he gets here, he's bringing fire. Them chariots are going to bring a fire as well, man. You know, it says, even him whose coming is after the working or energy, the energia of Satan, man, with all power and signs and lying wonders. You know, and part of that is this AI that he's setting up. But they know, you know what I'm saying? They know. So the Lord is allowing this devil to do what he's doing. So going back to the screenshot here, again, it says red alert. E says hostile alien ship arrives in our solar system. And I think they said like it's moving about 30 miles per hour. So it should be in our solar system by October, I believe is what they said. And some of the things they said is to preparing to fight, basically, which is in the scriptures, man. You know what I'm saying? They're preparing to fight against this because this is a threat, man. You know what I'm saying? This is a threat, because everything that the men of the Lord, which primarily is the men of the great millstone, beginning storm of the apostle on down, and like-minded men, maybe some, there's affiliate camps out here that may not carry the title of GMS, but they preach the same doctrine and give double honors to the apostles and them as well, man. You know what I'm saying? So this message is out there, and the majority of people think we're full of shit. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to come to find out that it's very true. It's very real, man. So, but you see what this devil is doing. He's setting it all up, man. He's setting it all up to prepare, because they know that's to get the minds of the people prepared for, because there's going to be that war in heaven, which we'll get that real quick. Let's go to that real quick. This Revelation chapter 12 and verse 7. It reads in the heading, the angel Michael. It says, verse 7, it says, and there was war in heaven. And that war in heaven hasn't happened yet. You Christians, man. There is no war. There was no war in the spirit realm with Yahweh Shem Yahushua, with the Lord, the Most High. The Lord didn't create an angel or something that can rebel against him. And then you got to know we got these simple ass Christians out here, or these unlearned people that will say, yeah, well, these people are rebelling against the Lord. You got all kind of people, atheists and is rebelling against the Lord. Well, Paul broke that down, bro. These people we're in this sinful flesh. We're in these bodies, man. The angels, including Satan, is not in flesh, man. They're spirits, And he said the spirit wants to do right. The spirit is righteous and wants to do the right thing, but the flesh is wicked, it's corrupt, and it wants to do its own thing. It wants to do the opposite. That's why there's a constant battle when you're in this flesh. There's a constant battle between the spirit and the flesh, man. The spirits, the angels are not in flesh, bro. So it don't apply to them. As a matter of fact, let me get this real quick. The scriptures, and then we'll come back to Revelation, the 12th chapter. The scriptures tell you that the angels do what the Lord, the will of the Lord, man. They're not in this flesh, man. So they're not tempted by going off. So there was the Lord, there's nothing that's going to rebel against the Lord. No spirit is going to rebel. So that's that whole thing with the Christian church, that there was war in heaven and Satan and rebelled and other angels, and they rebelled and got cast. That's no, bro. You don't know what that's talking about. But here, this is Psalms 103 in verse 19. It says, the Lord hath prepared his throne in the heavens, and his kingdom ruleth over all. Yeah, the kingdom of the Lord ruleth over all, man. Verse 20, it says, bless the Lord, ye his angels, all of them. There's angels on his left hand, and there's angels on his right, Yahweh Shai and the righteous angels. And then you have Satan and the demons, the left-hand angels, the wicked, that bring all the left-hand things of the Lord on his left hand, man. Satan is not underground, man. Satan is in the heavens with the Most High Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai is at his right hand. Satan is at his left, man. He ain't under the ground, bro. And as a matter of fact, there's an account in Kings. I can't remember if it's First or Second Kings, dealing with I believe it's Ahab, where he was going to fall at Ramoth Gilead, and there was a council, and the angels, was I'll do this, Lord, I'll do that, Lord, and he chose one that said he would be a lion angel, a lion spirit in the mouth of all his prophets, man, and of course the Lord told him he liked that, so he said, yeah, you go and do that, you got the job, you go do that, and you're going to succeed. So the Lord had to sign off on everything, man. He could have sent him to do it and told him he wasn't going to succeed and made that whole mission fail. So all credit goes to the Lord, bro, at the end of the day. And then of course that happened. He was that lion spirit in the mouth of the prophets and told him that, yeah, go, you're going to be successful, you're going to win. And he went up there and got put to death, man, because that's what the Lord wanted. So, and there's scriptures that go into how the Lord will send evil angels among you, evil spirits. The Lord does evil, man. Isaiah 45:7, So, but the angels are in perfect order, man. Psalms 103 and verse 20. Bless the Lord, ye his angels that excel in strength, that do his commandments, hearkening unto the voice of his word. There you go, bro. And that's the scripture that I needed. So, you can keep reading, but that's the point right there. They do the will of the Lord. They hearken to his commandments and to his voice, man. All angels, Satan as well, man. So stop, bro. Satan ain't against the Lord, man. There's no war where Satan rebelled, man. There wasn't no war in the spirit realm with the Most High. That war is coming right here in your atmosphere. You've seen that depiction of that chariot, which we're going to go back to it. But this is back in Revelations 12 and 7. It says, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. And the dragon represents Rome 2.0. This is the dragon, the Roman Empire, man. You know what I'm saying? And this is Rome all over again, that beast that came back to life, man, and everybody wandered after the beast, man. That's America, and they show you that they're Rome 2.0 with everything. They signed something known as a Treaty of Rome. You used to have to learn Roman numerals in school. The Super Bowl is in Roman numerals, So, and when you look in Washington D.C., you see the architecture is after Rome, man. Which if you go all the way back to Mount Seir, which is Petra today, over in the land, you're going to see that same architecture. So, yeah, man, it's talking about in these times, America, man. And it says, Michael, the archangel Michael, the angel of war, is going to come when Yahushua returns, and they're coming to wage war on this place, man. Revelations, the 19th chapter goes into that. As a matter of fact, let me get that real quick. This is Revelation 19, and I'll start at verse 11. The coming of Hamashiach. There it is in the heading. Revelation 19:11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, which represents the chariot that of pureness, that cleanliness that Yahushua is going to be in. A horse represents power. And the power of those chariots, man, when they enter into this atmosphere, is going to be off the chain, man. These people have not experienced anything of that nature, man, of the sort. It says, and he that sat upon him was called faithful and true, Yahushua. And in righteousness he doth judge and make war. There it is, man. He's coming to wage war, man. He's been a judge this place, man. And that's the point. So we're going to go back to Revelation, the 12th chapter again. And verse 7, it says, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was their place found anymore in heaven, because they're about to get cast out of rulership. Heaven here represents rulership of the planet Earth, man. You know what I'm saying? That exaltation, that loftiness. Esau is in that position now. The earth has been given into his hands. Job 9:24, man. He's in a cush position, running everything, man. However he wants to, and he's running it and ruling it in wickedness, man, which the Lord is against. That's why Yahushua is going to return and take these devils down, and of course, Daniel the 12th chapter, I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and we could have kept reading in Revelations the 19th chapter, going on those many crowns being upon his head, man. Which is synonymous for rulership. Many crowns, these kingdoms. There's a joint heir, left-hand rulership going on now with Esau and these nations, man. These heathen nations. That's why it goes into that in Revelations, the 17th chapter. Where they gave their power to the beast for an hour, roughly paraphrasing, which I believe is roughly 41, a little over 41 years, right at 40, not quite 42 years, but, and that's, hey, we're there, man. So that's what that's going into. But it says, and prevail not. So they're gonna fail, man. Neither was their place found anymore in heaven. They're gonna get cast out of rulership. It says, and they're not gonna rule anymore. It says, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. So they're gonna lose, man. You know what I'm saying? And that and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, going all the way back to the beginning. It's the same people, man. Is in other words, all the way back to the garden, man. It's the same people back then, called the devil and Satan. Devil means deceiver, accuser of thy brethren, and Satan means adversary, adverse to the Lord, his ways, and the Lord's people, man. And that's where the deception, all of this, that's why there's so much confusion in the earth. You got Christianity, and all these bugged out people and all manner of the religious sects of these devils, man, which everything stems from the Catholic Church, which is the false prophet of the Bible, man. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this devil is responsible for all this, and that's why the confusion, this is Babylon, man, So that's why all this confusion is in the earth, man. You know what I'm saying? Because of these devils, man. But that war in heaven, this is going to happen soon. That's why, again, this depiction, let's go back to it. This is, and that's why these devils are so, kind of, razzled, frazzled, or whatever the word is, yeah, hostile alien ship, Why are they calling it hostile? Did it shoot something? Did it, what's up, man? No, man. They know the prophecies. They know what's going on. They know what this represents. The angels, Yahushai, Michael, and the heavenly hosts are going to return, and they're coming to return to wage war on this place. They know that, man, because they're coming to take them down, man. And then they're going to set up, Yahushua is going to set up a righteous rulership, a righteous kingdom, his kingdom, along with his anointed, his elect, man, the 144,000, which is the coming government on the planet Earth, man. You know what I'm saying? Bringing to pass Matthew 6 and 10. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, because there's perfect righteousness and order in the heavens, man. You don't see that now. So that's a future event, a near future, mind you. You know what I'm saying? Where the laws are going to flow out of Zion, as it says in Isaiah the 2nd chapter, Micah the 4th chapter. The laws are going to go forth. That's how you know those people in the land are not the people, man. Ain't no laws going forth, So, they're over there doing wickedness, kosher pork, kosher cigarettes. Come on, man. No, bro. Tel Aviv is the biggest Mo parade on the planet. You know what I'm saying? All in the Holy Land. Stop, bro. Humping wall, that wailing wall. Stop. All that's with having sex with a female entity, deity, false god. All of that wickedness, man. Sucking on baby. Come on, man. It's all wickedness going on over there, bro. All manner of wickedness, and the Lord going to have to destroy all of that. He's going to destroy America. He's going to hit the land too. Not going to totally destroy it. America's going to become a desert, but he's going to hit the land over there too, man. You know what I'm saying? And then they're going to rebuild. You know what I'm saying? All these things are in the scriptures, man. So they're worried about this right here, man. This has got them razzled, man. Shook. They got them shook, man. So, but because these things are coming and they know that, man. So let's get real quick. What is that? Is it Proverbs? Proverbs. Is it 30? Am I thinking of the right thing? Nah, that's the name. What is it? Salakia. Psalms. I'm sorry. Salakia. Psalms 104. I'm tripping. And verse 3. This is Psalms 104 and verse 3. And it reads, and bear with me, Salakia. I'm just going through the spirit. I don't have anything, written down. I'm just going through the spirit. This is 104, Psalms 104 and verse 3. And it says, who layeth the beams of his Salakia, who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind, who maketh his angels spirits, who ministers his ministers a flaming fire. So the clouds, man, the chariots cloak themselves in a cloud. Of course, this one is traveling through space, the one that they have on the video. So, but the angels actually cloak themselves in the clouds. And let's see, when you go into this word for clouds, I think it's clouds. No. It's chariot. My bad. Haven't done this type of lesson in a while. Chariot. And it says a chariot, when you go into outline of biblical usage, chariot, Strong's definition, it says a vehicle as ridden on. Chariot. So they cloak themselves in the clouds. They make the clouds their chariot. So, but the chariot is a vehicle ridden on. So they're the vehicles of the angels, man. As a matter of fact, when you read I'm trying to remember where it's at. Let me see. Let me try to find it. I don't know if I spelled that right. I did not. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Did it give me anything? It's not what I'm looking for. Dang. I know it's in Psalms. Let's try it like this. Bear with me, Salakia. There it is. 68, Psalm 68. This is Psalm 68 and verse 17, and it reads, "The chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them as in Sinai in the holy place." So it says the chariots, which we just read, chariots are the vehicles of the angels, of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels. So it makes chariots and angels synonymous, proving what's in the chariots, though that cloak in the clouds. The Lord is among them as in Sinai in the holy place. So that proves it right there, man. So yeah, they know, these devils know what it is, man. And so real quick, let's just go to the Apocrypha real quick, and I'm gonna bring this lesson to a close. I feel like I'm babbling a little bit. So let's this 2nd Ezra chapter 13. And we're going to start at verse 1 and just read down a few verses. Oh, Salakia. Always does that to me. 2nd Ezra 13 and verse 1. And it reads, and it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, which is a vision. It says, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea. And that sea is talking about out of the sky, man. The heavens. The Shemayim, the waters of the heavens. It says, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the ways thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. That's Yahushai with Michael and the heavenly host, man. And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen under him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. And yeah, and that's those laser beams that's going to be coming out of the chariots. Isaiah 66 and 15. The Lord said he's going to render his man, you know what? Messing it up. Let's just go get it. Salakia. Isaiah 66 and verse 15, and it reads, "For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many." So yeah, man, you know, and of course, you know, the thermonuclear destruction as well, but those chariots are going to be getting down. He letting you know right here, the chariots going to be getting in on it. So, you know, they're going to bring fire as well. As a matter of fact, Luke 12, I believe, in verse 49, you know, if a fire be already kindled, you know, so it's going to be fire going on in the earth when the chariots get here, when Yahweh Shai gets here, and he going to add to the fire, you know. Verse 5 says, "And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of the number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea." Yeah, they're going to try to subdue Yahweh Shai and the angels when he returns, you know, when he cracks them clouds. You know what I'm saying? They're going to try to, because they're going to be fighting amongst each other, but then they're going to stop fighting and come together like that devil Reagan said in the Star Wars program speech. You know, coming together in that one common cause, you know, because they know this is going to happen. So it says, but I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew up upon it. You know, and that's the chariot, that father ship that he's going to be in. And it's so big, it looked like as it was a mountain. He said, but I would have seen the region or place wherewith the hill was graven, and I could not, because it wasn't a hill, it wasn't a mountain, it was a chariot. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which was gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet durst fight, because the Lord is going to put that same spirit he put on the Pharaoh, because these are the modern day Pharaohs. You know, Romans the 9th chapter goes into that, you know, and he's going to put that same spirit on them to fight, man. Even though they're going to be afraid, they're going to fight, because the Lord is going to harden their hearts and put that spirit on them to fight anyway, so he can destroy them. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up hand nor held sword nor any instrument of war. He didn't need it, man. He's got spiritual power. He's got the chariots. They gonna, you know, them beams. You know, he don't need instrument of war. You know, he is an instrument of war. Got spiritual powers. It says, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been, a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempest. Again, the laser beams that's going to come out. There's a scripture, I can't remember exactly where it is, and it goes into that. I believe it's in Habakkuk. As a matter of fact, it is in Habakkuk. Let me get that real quick, and then we'll come back and finish this out. Habakkuk, is it 3? I believe it's Habakkuk. Habakkuk, the 3rd chapter, I believe. And I just don't know exactly where it is. I'm trying to remember how it's worded. Yep, 4th verse. Well, it was right there, huh? Habakkuk 3 and 4, and it says, "And his brightness was as the light. He had horns coming out of his hand, and there was the hiding of his power." And that hand represents the chariot, man. So real quick, let's go into this word. Let's go into this word, horns. And when you jumped out in the outline of biblical use, it says horn of strength, flask, container for oil, horn, musical instrument, horn of horn-like projections on the altar. Here's the point. Verse F, number F, or letter F, Salakia, of rays of light. There it is, those laser beams. Yep, that's what it's talking about. That's what's going to be coming out these chariots, man. You know what I'm saying? So let's go back to verse 11. This is the last verse. 2nd Ezra 13 and 11. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up, every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and the smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So that vision scared the hell out of Esdras, man. You know what I'm saying? But there it is, man. You know, that's going into what's going to happen to these devils when they try to fight the Lord, which they're going to do, man. And that's why, and they know that, man. And that's why they're, this right here, let's get this picture one more time. This right here with that so-called alien ship or craft, they like to call them, you know, unidentified, you know, UFOs, unidentified flying objects, UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena. No, they're very identified. The Bible identifies them as the chariots or vehicles of the angels, man. You know, the chariots of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the chariots of Israel, you know, the vehicles of the angels. So that's what this is. That's the threat, and they're threatened. You know, that's why they're saying hostile alien ship. Because they know at some point, and it's close, man. You know, that's why this devil finna come down with great wrath. Because he know his time is up, man. So these devils are about to push faster and harder. The Lord is shortening the days, and you can feel it and you can see it. And these things are coming, and they expect this vehicle, this chariot, to enter into the solar system by October, man. So we're gonna see what happens if these devils start moving and speeding things up and making certain moves, because they know, again, their time is up. So I just wanted to do a quick hit. Hopefully this was edifying to the hopeful elect. Giving all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Barakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, the elder bishops, and the elders of the great millstone. And peace and blessings to the elect, the house of David, the Bayath, Shah Dawadat, Shalom.